Going through my phone on a late night, doing all my wrong, but I know that it ain't right. Heavy on my heart is a burden. I can't bring myself to share with you because of all the things you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Aquila Maddox, the Inspirationalist, and I am here with artist MWiL. It is a pleasure to have you, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I know that obviously you are connected to the wonderful Radio Ready Records.
Yes, I am.
And this is a completely new movement that you guys are venturing right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so give me some information, first of all, about how did you get connected to Radio Ready Records?
Well, Radio Ready Records, obviously, 828, I call him Terrence.
Okay.
That's how I know. We actually grew up as kids.
Okay.
And we didn't even relate on music. We played basketball. You know, we played hide and seek with the little girls in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Just kind of ran around doing our thing. Like, I didn't even know he did music.
Wow.
I just kind of fell into music later on, and it wasn't until recently that we crossed back paths and linked up. Like, we had talked before, maybe like 7 years ago, and then linked back up, and we just hit the ground running. Like, it's crazy. It's been an insane experience.
That's awesome. So then that's a good segue into how did you get started into music? Has this been something you've always been passionate about, something you've always done? Were you the little kid at talent shows with the microphone?
Absolutely not. I was that reserved kid. I played sports, and that was kind of my thing. I was always a creative type, drawing. And I got into graphic design. And that is what I thought was my calling. And I had a program at GarageBand. I'm pretty sure people are familiar with GarageBand. You may not be. But it was a guy, one of my brother's friends. We played basketball with him, and he came over and said, "Yo, you've got GarageBand?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't really know what it does. You want to play with it?" And so he was a rapper, and I guess that was the spark that got me into it as like for fun. And then I ran into some people, Lefty, Van Low, and Tastic, that got me even deeper into it. So I started figuring out how to use the tools. And I wanted to be an engineer, believe it or not.
Okay.
But then it was one of those things that you kind of can almost think about it like in a movie. You're just humming in the studio one day and somebody's like, "Yo, I want that, we need that." And then it just kind of blew up from there. And, long story short, we're right here.
Wow, that's amazing. I think that, as you said, it's always interesting to hear. You're like, I thought it was my calling to do this, and then you get redirected in some way or another or find another love, as if that could not be possible. You know what I mean? Because you said you played basketball, right? Was that a love too, I imagine?
Oh, yeah, that was life.
Was you going to be a basketball star in your mind or in the future? Did you project or something? Okay.
At least college.
Okay.
Get me to college, and then we'll see where it takes you from there. But that was always the goal, was basketball to here. And then if you make it, you make it. I always put the work in.
Absolutely. Okay. So, strategy is something you're obviously familiar with, right? Mm-hmm. So do you have an idea of strategy for your career when it comes to music?
When it comes to music, it's just so much of a feeling. It's just such a strong feeling that resides within me. And my end goal is to just write. And right now, I'm just wanting to prove to people or just show people that I write.
Awesome.
And that I can make great music.
Okay.
And I want to share that with people. It doesn't have to be me that says it, but my words touch people, whether it's myself or another artist. So that honestly would be my end goal as far as the music game is concerned, to always be able to help that next generation grow into who they want to be.
So I have heard some of your music, and I have. And in fact, singing, I'm told, was a new discovered talent of yours because you're known more for rapping. Is that true, or give me some information around that?
Yeah, it's I've always been into rapping, but I've secretly an R&B head, and just like most of my influences have been R&B singers.
Okay.
You know, just gonna put out there, Music Soul Child is
Of course.
my favorite, like just hands down. So
It's music.
It's music. I mean, it's in the name.
It's in the name.
It's in the name. So
yeah.
you can't help but love it. But that's really one of my biggest influences, and what I like, just his sound just inspires me to actually sing. But actually incorporating it into my music was very different.
Okay.
So,
how did that feel, bringing that element to your own art?
felt good.
Okay.
You know, you can just kind of just let it out. It adds another element that rapping and writing was not lacking, but it just enhanced it.
Absolutely.
It's like, you know, like putting the cherry on top of a sundae. It's like, this is good, but now it's like
super good.
super good.
Super
you know, so
good.
I get excited anytime I hear the melody and I'm able to actually, you know, put that in there. So
that's wonderful, because you know, as I was listening to it, and I was like, oh, because I heard, I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember which song I was listening to, because I listened to quite a few of them, but you were singing in there a little bit more than I heard the rapping, and I was like, oh, so he sings, and then it was like, well, actually, this is new for him. I'm like, but you sound well, you sound really good, so congratulations on your new discovered talent.
well, thank you very much. I also
really
have
good.
to congratulate 828 on that, because he's really been showing me.
That's good.
Terrence, I like calling him Terrence, but 828, he's really just shown me a lot of things. Just opened my eyes to a completely different world and how to express myself in a really creative way, and doing it at a level that I never thought possible. That and the rest of the team that we've accomplished at Radio Ready.
So I think that's beautiful that you are part of a record label who doesn't just, you know, take your music and promote it, but really, you know, focuses on you as an artist to, you know, help you put out the best work, but also elevate, you know what I'm saying, personally, where like you're saying, you're like, they were pulling in, you know, and he was pulling out some talent that I didn't necessarily tap into, and it enhanced your work. It enhanced your music. So that's really great to be part of a team. And, you know, as many people, you know, and many artists and record labels, when you hear them speak, you know, around their labels, that's a great correlation, is to be able to have somebody that actually says, hey, we're not just trying to pimp your music, you know,
Exactly.
but we want to make sure you are doing your best and you're at your best in all ways. I mean, because essentially what you're doing is kind of comparable to like the Beyonce, I'm a girl, okay? I'm a girl, all right? Where
Well, it's
Beyonce
nice to be
was
put on that level.
You know what I mean? Where you could actually do all parts of your own music. You know what I'm saying? To, you know, that's what I'm actually comparing it to. Is like, you can do all your own music, man. Listen, that's where it's at, you know, where you can be the rapper, you can be the person singing, and, you know, and then change the melodies and stuff. You that fancy? You doing all of those melodies like that?
Oh, yeah, we doing it like that, but don't tell anybody.
Okay, well, I ain't gonna tell nobody else, okay? Listen, so you talked about Music Soul Child being one of the people that you absolutely look up to. Would that be a person, or do you have someone else that you could imagine opening up for? If you could open up for anybody, like, who would it be?
Oh, you only going with one person here?
I'll give you two. It's Christmas.
You give me two?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man, okay. If I could go with two people, one would be Chris Brown. That's just a talented guy. Like, who wouldn't want to do that?
Absolutely.
The other,
You give me Chris Brown vibes. What? You give me Chris Brown vibes, you know?
that's interesting. That's interesting. I've heard that never before.
Okay.
But no, my other person definitely is Eminem. And
Okay.
we're not going to get into the depths of why. I'm just kidding. You can ask why. But
No, you
that's
go ahead.
just
Please
like,
share. Please
as far as writing, that guy is amazing. My personal all-time favorite rapper. And he writes about everything that relates to him and correlates to his life. And that's where my music comes from. It comes from my life experiences, and manipulating it in a way that can relate to somebody else. and creatively doing so. Because some people can tell you about their lives all day.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's obviously a market for people like that, but, you know, I like it to be a little bit entertaining as well.
Awesome.
So he definitely hits that mark for me. So that's another person I'd love to open up for.
Definitely creative genius, man. So I want to dive into so when you talk about your music being a connection to your own personal life story and things like that. So one of your new songs is Comfortable, right? So tell me about what was the, your inspiration behind, or, your experiential inspiration behind that song?
Comfortable was obviously, I wanted to dive into my inner thoughts because I was having some issues within myself and in my relationship, like just being the type of person who didn't really care much about their relationship and just did everything willy-nilly. Like the things that we take for granted, the fact that we have to earn trust and we have to be able to keep that trust.
Absolutely.
You know, in your relationship. And it's really a hypothetical situation made a real situation. Like, what if I had things going on in the streets, and what if I was leaving you late night and cheating and running around? It's really just a conversation with yourself, and just me just trying to reflect that outwardly, not actually doing it, of course.
Gotcha.
We never want to do that, but it's really an internal conversation with myself about doing things and playing it out in my mind. So, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have this feeling where, hey, I'm tired of my relationship. I want to step out. But do you do that? Is it worth it?
Mm-hmm. You're counting the cost.
Exactly. So it's
that's really good. That's really good. And I think that, like you said, a lot of people can really connect to that. You know, I'm absolutely an advocate of being one with your thoughts, you know, the reality of those thoughts, because not all our thoughts are pretty. You know what I'm saying? They're not always in favor of us winning in certain areas of our life, whether they're our thoughts, where they've been influenced by things we've seen or past experiences. So I think that that's really, I think that's really good to create a song that allows for other people to have the release of those very thoughts, and even the visual. Because, when we start singing, we kind of have these pictures going through our mind. We have this, we create this movie, if you will. So to be able to, I feel like that would be a better outlet, like you said, opposed to doing it for some people. Is be like, let's just go back and count the costs and just think about, if I was, like you said, if I was comfortable, like where would that actually lead me, opposed to being more intentional. So I take it from this song and from your explanation that you are a man of intention. You have a desire to be more, set in a positive direction and intentional about how you're moving in your personal life and so on and so forth. Would that be correct?
Yeah. Everybody has their down moments in their life. And I had my moments where you're just down and out and you don't know what's next. And I figured, if I'm still going to be here, there's no stopping this. So I have to keep moving and try to take this negative energy and make it into a positive. So this, writing and the music became a very positive outlet for me, because then I can express my emotions and my thoughts, get them down on paper. Because sometimes when you're talking and, whether it be your friend or your spouse or your mom, there's interjection from another person. And sometimes you don't want interjection. Sometimes you just want your thoughts heard.
Right.
It's only you. And that's what I did. That's what I do. So that every thought, I can't act on every thought that I have. Yeah. Otherwise, you wouldn't necessarily be the greatest of people. So that's how I get my negative thoughts out, is creating positive energy, creating music that you can hear and relate to, and maybe play the scenario out in your head, like you say, visualizing it and seeing how your life would play out. And it's just the way that I, manage myself.
That's cool. Very, very mature, because we definitely, need the maturity. I personally feel to be interjected in our music, where, like you said, you're kind of, to me, you're leading people in a direction to think before they do things. what type of legacy do you want to leave with your music?
I mean, I think you kind of said it. Think before you do things, and don't treat people that you love with the disrespect that certain actions might guide you into.
Yeah.
And that's really just the way it is. Like, treat others how you want to be treated. And
that's what's
it's
up.
It's not too much more I can get into.
I mean, listen, that's deep enough. I mean, that's definitely a legacy the world could stand, to have. And so I'm really grateful even just for that being your desire to leave that type of imprint. Now, I have some fun questions, okay?
Oh, Lord, here they come.
Okay, so
let's go.
Do you have any hidden talents?
Hidden talents?
Aside from singing, because you obviously have discovered this one.
Well, see, since you let that one out of the box, I kind of have to think. Actually, I soak up information very interesting. I just spit out random thoughts sometimes.
Okay.
And it's very random. Like, I could just come up with 1922, such and such happened on such a day that related in this. It happens in conversation all the time.
Okay.
And it's hidden even to me. I still have to tap into that one. Maybe 828 can help me with that.
Okay. So I used to say that I'm full of like random, useless information.
Exactly.
Where I could just, like you said, you just heard something and you retain it, and then you be like, bleh, Did you know that a spider has,
Exactly.
It's no relevance even sometimes. But just if the information. Do you sing in the shower? Rap in the shower, anything like that? Do you feel, because a lot of people, I feel like, including myself, we do our best work in the shower with the way that it sounds in the bathroom. And so we sound like Whitney Houston at our best. You know what I'm saying?
I am one of those people.
Okay, okay.
Little did I know that it sounded good to other people as well. So.
Okay. Now that's the win.
Exactly. So
that's the win. Nobody's throwing soap at you. Telling you to be quiet. That is the win. That is the win. Your wife ain't hit on the door and told you to be quiet or nothing like that?
Oh, no. She'll throw in requests from time to time.
You see what I'm saying? That's a win.
Even
that's
the karaoke, she'll come and join too. All right, let's go. Let's do this.
I love it. That's a win. That's a win. Okay, so if you could do a collaboration with any artist out there, who would it be?
Man.
We know you'd open up for Musiq Soulchild, so...
Okay, so I can alleviate the ones that I previously...
That's right.
Man, believe it or not, DMX.
What?
Don't ask. I'm not answering that. Yeah, sometimes you need a good on the track to just make people pay attention. Listen,
Wow, that is pretty cool.
Like, I would definitely be down for that.
That's awesome. So one of my friends used to manage DMX.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to pass this to her.
You might have to make that happen for me someday.
Let's see. That would be pretty cool.
Swing that.
See. Yes. What is the message you want to give to your fans?
To my fans.
What would be a message? That he's not Chris Brown. No, just kidding.
Oh, wow. No, my message is like we spoke about in my legacy. Just treat people the way that you want to be treated. Act on love and not just random emotion. Don't jump out there before thinking about it, because you never know the repercussions of your actions.
Absolutely.
Always think and then jump. In most situations, sometimes you just got to jump.
Sometimes you got to jump. You got to have a good jump.
Like with just music.
I'm about to say, there you go. Like this music, you had to get in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If the water was cold, you just had to jump on in.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. Don't y'all take that for granted now, because that's a really good message. It preserves a lot. That wisdom preserves a lot. What's your creative process like? Because I know you said you are not the person who necessarily started out in this thing, but now that you're here and this is definitely a love for you, what does your creative process look like?
My creative process starts with just living, experience.
Okay.
And then taking that experience and putting it on paper. Then creatively telling that story. And then finding the music to go with it, whether I make it myself or collaborate with another person or 828 or one of the rest of the team. And then we get it tweaked. I get a lot of constructive criticism from the team, and then we go back and we fix everything that we have to do, and then we start putting the seasoning on it, the special sauce on it, and make it the sound that is MWiL.
Okay. Now, the internet being, some people's road to fame, it's definitely been a waymaker for many artists and things like that. How do you believe the internet has or could affect the music industry as you're constantly evolving in this?
It has its ups and downs, because of how quickly things can spread, or how quickly things can go bad. It's good and bad in my opinion. You have the availability of just sitting here and broadcasting something without moving. It gives you the opportunity to be in the room without being in the room. But personally, you're not in the room. There's a difference, like some of my favorite artists, where I used to see them in the street handing out discs, hey, buy my album, donate, hey, here's an album for free. I just want to get out there.
Yes.
There's a lack of personal touch that comes with that, in my opinion, but it gives you the opportunity and the platform to actually spread out and go beyond where you can see and where you thought you could go before.
Absolutely. I think that was pretty cool, though. You know what I'm saying? I definitely grew up and was surrounded by the upcoming artists where they was, pushing them CDs, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. In the paper cover, with the little see-through circle right there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everybody wasn't able to afford the little the plastic, jacket or whatever that went
the little jewel case. I think they call them jewel cases.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody couldn't afford the jewel case, so then we have it in that paper, just slide in, and they was pushing it, and they probably, printed it out or something like that, their little cover and stuff on there, or even wrote it on there.
Oh yeah, the Sharpie markers.
Absolutely.
And then, God forbid, they had bad handwriting. Ah man, I love this. I don't know who he is.
There you go. But it was like you said, it has such a personal touch because you also got to meet the person behind the music, and they kind of shared they always shared their story, you know what I mean? Real briefly, but they had a story to share. I grew up and I came from this and that and other, and this is what I'm trying to do and this is where I'm trying to go. So I do believe that is something that, it's potentially overlooked when it comes to the internet. But like you said, there's a good and a bad to the spread because it can definitely share the music and, get it out quickly and people become more knowledgeable about who you are. But then it can be an infiltration at the same time,
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty cool that you get to come into this industry where that's still the positives are available to you, because at the time that wasn't available to them CD pushers.
Oh, it definitely wasn't.
It wasn't available to them. You know what I mean? So they had to rain, sleet, or snow.
Police telling them not to loiter.
Okay, they probably the reasons all them signs are everywhere.
Definitely.
No trespassing. Do you have any upcoming shows or features or anything like that?
We have put a pause on shows due to COVID. So until this all blows over, we're just kind of stand still on that. Upcoming features, you're just gonna have to go to Radio Ready Records ATL.com and find out, because we will be posting new things and upcoming events and new songs, albums, and such.
What's the best advice you've received when it comes to this industry? Whether you've heard it, whether it's person give it to you or something you've taken away from someone that you listen to.
Unapologetically being yourself.
Okay. He said that was it. I'm just going to drop that one out right there. Just unapologetically be you. I can dig it. And my final question, what's next for you?
What's next?
Yeah, what's next for you? What do you have? Any new music that you're working on?
Obviously new music. We're always making new music.
Yeah, always making new music.
So the next step for me is acting, getting into acting, trying to get a couple more roles and, see how that goes.
Okay. So what they call it, like a triple threat.
Yeah,
You about
triple
to be
threat.
singing,
just
and
like basketball.
rapping, and Okay, and acting. All right. I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first with The Inspirationalist. This is MWiL of Radio Ready Records. And until next time, it was a pleasure. I look forward to our next interview with updates and all the wonderful things that you have going on.
I look forward to being here.
Thank you.
Don't I do you wrong?